I don't want to speculate, but bitch, what did you snort before you gave these scores? Because I'm seeing people giving them 8s and 9s, and the performance for me was a 5 at best. I'm back again, getting more yes gods than the Vatican. That line lives rent-free in my head all the time. So good. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you better get into it. Thank you guys for coming back to my channel to see me review Legendary once more. It is episode 5. I'm living. Anyways, before we get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on all my socials, Patreon included. Link in the description below.
Kiki Palmer, me, Law Roach, Mila Jamila, it's Bob the Drag Queen.
Let's talk about these judges' outfits. I think everyone looks cheap. Everyone looks like they went to Party City. Everyone. And I stand beside it. I thought Law looked very yikes in that jumpsuit. Moss green is not his color. I was watching it with someone and they said, "Ooh, now you know how the sausage is made." I died. Law looked crazy. I don't know what possessed him, but hey, to each their own. You better work, live your life. Bob the Drag Queen is a guest judge on this week's episode, and I am so happy because I'm a big Bob the Drag Queen fan, and Bob looked absolutely amazing, absolutely stunning. I loved everything about the look. The House of Juicy Couture. And I don't know why I'm doing an accent, because I felt like it. It's fine. You're okay. We're okay. Now, they were everything in this performance. I loved Juicy Couture keeps impressing me. Last week they were Superior House. This week they're coming through and they were building off of that momentum and that excitement of winning, and they're not dropping their energy levels. They're not dropping their creativity and their dynamicness. They're just like full speed ahead. Like, you better catch up, bitches, because we're going for the gold. And I live for that. Like, that's the type of mentality you need to have as a house in a competition. And that's how I see it. I liked the performance. I lived for all the dips, and when they were doing that fighting scene, that was really cool. I thought, wow, this is how you do a fight scene with dips and make it clean and not messy. Sometimes when the girls are doing a lot of dips back to back to back, by the way, they had to incorporate one specific element in their performance. Theirs were dips. In the past, when you see some of the I nearly said queens. When you see some of the houses doing their dips like back to back, I can recall House of Makavali a few weeks ago. They just looked tired. The more they did it, the more tired they looked, and I was like, ooh, your stamina needs to be up here. Like, eat some more carbs. I don't know, do something, because that's not it. But this Juicy Couture, this was fully it. I loved for it, and they're becoming the house to beat. As a matter of fact, they're not becoming. Right now, they are the house to beat. Revlon was like there for me, but Juicy Couture is quickly surpassing them. That's the truth. They're quickly surpassing everyone else, and everyone needs to get up off their ass and chase them down, because they're running away with that bag. The House of Revlon, they were tasked to do spins in their performance, so they had to highlight that. The performance was cute. It was cute, but the spins did not excite me. The outfits were a lot of fashion and not enough anime, because the theme is anime. At least so I thought. But when I saw them, I had to question it. I was like, ooh, I see the fashion reference, but not enough of the anime reference. And so it was kind of a fail for me. Plus it just looked heavy. I wasn't a fan of the outfits. I don't care if it's a fashion reference or not. If it's cute, it's cute. If it ain't cute, it just is not cute. Like the top was interesting, but it felt heavy, and with the little gold panties y'all had on with them, I did not live. I just did not live. They got an overall score of 39. I thought, which is fair. I would have given them a cute 7, maybe a 6. To be honest, I feel like the judges are so generous with their scoring this season. Shockingly generous. I see people that I'm like, give that bitch a 5, and they're like, I'll give you an 8. I'll give you an 8. And I'm like, no, I don't see it. Let's talk about the house of Yohji Yamamoto. I love this house. I don't care what people might think about this house because they just do it for me. They were tasked with floor performance, but I'm gonna be real. The costumes were amazing. The costumes were really, really, really good. The floor performance, that was not great. As biased as I can be, it has to be within reason. The floor performance was lacking. I was sad to see it. I really was. But I will say they were in the middle of the road with the scores. Jamila gave them her gag flag though, which I appreciated because I didn't want them to be in the bottom. I didn't want to see them fighting to stay. But then things got a little weirder because the mother of the house went off on Leiomy. And I thought to myself, I didn't think you were this type of girl, but I got it. She was so emotional and she felt like Leiomy didn't really want to see them there. Like sometimes when you're in ballroom and you come up with someone and you see someone in front of you judging you, it's like almost like they've surpassed you and they're ahead of you in the same field, but you came up together. It can be a weird feeling. And I can imagine that, like, girl, we were doing this together back in 2005. We were doing it the same amount of time, and what you can do, I can do. And I'm probably more mature than you and probably have more experience, but here you are in front of me telling me I'm not good enough or giving me critiques. Like, who are you to give me a critique? I feel like it was a little bit of that. But I love how it ended. More than the fact that they had this blow up and she was like going off on Leiomy after just getting her gag flag from Jamila. I was like, ooh, good of you. Get the gag flag, then go off on a judge. But Leiomy was like, girl, I'm sorry if you feel that way. I'm not ever trying to make you feel less than. I respect you. Even though there's a little shade in between, like, you're not on my level, you're not on my level, da-da-da-da-da. That's fine. It's ballroom. It's gay culture. It's LGBTQ culture, to be honest. We're very shady. If you shade me, I'm gonna shade you. I might not necessarily mean it, but I'm going to shade you if you shade me. And they hugged it out right after, like grown women, they hugged it out. And I literally almost had a tear fall in my eye because I was like, no, that's how you do it. That's how you have conflict and resolution. The House of La Basia was getting a lot of flack because the judges didn't really live for the performance, but I liked their duck walk. They had to do duck walks. I thought their duck walk fight scene was really cute. My opinion though. I thought it was perfectly fine. I enjoyed it. I thought there could have been more cleanliness in some of the areas of their performance, like the smoother transitions from one move to another, from one part of the stage to another, more cohesiveness in the movements of everyone. Like, if it's supposed to be in unison, then make it be in unison, you know what I mean? Ooh, not flipping my hair. And for that, I would have given them a good 7. Yeah, but overall they got a score of 36, and I fear for them because I don't want them to leave. But we'll see in the end. The House of Machiavelli, they got Catwalk, which was the easiest thing to do in my opinion for a ballroom category. Catwalk is just, it's not difficult. You don't have to be down on your knees and having your back straight like a freaking duck walk. You don't need to be on the floor, swiveling around, which is taking up a lot of energy and technique. You don't need to be spinning uncontrollably. You don't need to be whipping your neck like crazy. You just need to duck walk, which I felt like was a cop-out. I felt like they were given this because no one saw them as a threat, and no one really, they were like, give them a bone, because we're gonna give this to them and they're still not gonna be taking it to another level. So it's like, whatever. Which was like, okay. Anyways, the mother of the house, she kills me. She literally kills me. She is a lazy performer, and because of her, I feel like it's trickling down to her kids. Her kids, their faces just look so spaced out. It's like they're not there. And I blame her. I really blame her. They are just products of her. She doesn't push them because she doesn't push herself, and so they're stuck. And I'm ready for them to go home. I feel like the judges are on something. I don't want to speculate, but bitch, what did you snort before you gave these scores? Because I'm seeing people giving them 8s and 9s, and the performance for me was a 5 at best. It was very bad. I fully agreed with Jamila. They were bringing that rehearsal energy into the actual performance on the main stage, and they need to go home. For once, I am on Jamila's side, and I'm fully there with you. I see you. They were trash. And I don't believe in giving people 10s to like a good score to what? For what? Morale? Are we giving out participation trophies now? Are we giving everyone $100,000 because, hey, they showed up? I didn't think so. The House of Alpha and Omega got hair whips, but I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about them today because they are beautiful men, lovely to look at, gorgeous, gorgeous specimen. But the hair whips were very sad. It made me sad looking at it. The performance was weak sauce, and give them a 6. I was just so disappointed.
Get into beat to beat.
Now, the individual category for this episode was beat to beat, which I've never really heard of before. And they had each house come out initially to vogue to like a pre-taped version of them voguing. So you'll see a shadow on the screen of them voguing to a specific choreographed Vogue movement and a song, and they had to step in front of it and do the exact same movement so it would look like the shadow was mimicking them, which was freaking intense. And I was like, whoa, I don't think this is in ballroom. I feel like if it's in ballroom, it's 2 people, one behind the other, which they did eventually when they got to the top 3. I lived for this. This was really interesting. Some of the people that I thought were good got chopped, and I was like, oh, well, I couldn't take my eyes off of them. I thought they were amazing, but I guess not. And that's okay. I'm not a judge on the show. They're judges on the show. Juicy Couture, they ate everybody up, and they got the 5 extra points for their house, making them 50 points and the overall winning house this week again. house to beat. I keep telling you, like, they did not come to play. But I want to give a special shout out to Yoji Yamamoto because I did appreciate their performance and I really enjoyed it. Like, I thought they could have won. I really thought they could have won. Sometimes it feels like the judges get into this mode of, I like this person in this house, and so they just side with the person that they like, not really, you were really sickening and no one else beat you. It was just like, I really like you, so I'm gonna give it to you. And I get it, because if you have preferences, you have preferences. And I'm kind of partial to Yoji Yamamoto, and maybe that's why I thought they should have gotten it, but I really feel like I couldn't keep my eyes off of them, and they were really in unison. That's what I feel like watching it. Maybe I should rewatch it. Maybe I'll have a different opinion. Who knows?
Let's go. Let's go. Ha. Let's go.
The two bottom houses of the week are the House of La Basia, sad, and the House of Alpha Omega, double sad. These are two houses that I like. I like La Basia mainly because of Aja, and I'm an Aja fan from Drag Race days into Legendary and all of that. And Alpha Omega, they're just a house full of beautiful men, which is very helpful. Also, the father is like such a sweet person and such a caring dad to his kids. You can tell, like, he's a nice person to be around. It's like he gives off real good energy, and so I like seeing them as a family. But yeah, they ended up in the bottom. The performance was okay. It didn't feel exciting. Again, the battles just don't feel hungry enough. It doesn't feel like, ooh, I'm coming for blood. It doesn't give me that energy. I don't know if people are tired or what. Give them some glucose. Leiomy refused to give anyone a score. She said this was trash and it's disrespectful to Ballroom, it's disrespectful to me, and I will not even acknowledge this battle. And she walked off stage. Was it a bit dramatic? Yes. But work, it's TV. Do what you gotta do. And the House of Alpha Omega stayed. The House of La Basia sashayed away. I had to say it. But yeah, overall, this week's episode was very interesting. There were some really good performances, some standouts, and there was also a lot of bad performances. But that's it for this week. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and go over to my Patreon. I love you all for watching. Bye. Hey beautiful humans, you've made it this far in this video. Why not subscribe to my Patreon? You can sign up for exclusive content I don't post on YouTube, or support me making content for this channel. Speaking of, why don't you watch another video?